Hi, in this video I'll be demonstrating how to use a Motex 5500 price gun. To unload a roll of labels, we open the base plate first by pulling back the two tabs on either side. That'll open up this main base plate and also a small inner base plate. Open up the hood, take the label roll off the spool, and it should come straight out. To change a roll of labels on the Motex 5500, first we open the base plate. You do this by pulling back the two tabs on either side. It'll open a main base plate and a smaller inner base plate. Open up the hood and you'll see that there's one hole straight down the middle there for the labels to go through. Take a roll of 21 by 12 millimeter labels, flatten out about 10 to 15 centimeters worth, and we're going to put that down through the gun with the labels facing outwards. Once you see it coming out the bottom, put the roll of labels onto the spool, close the hood, and present about 10 to 15 centimeters out the front. Now before closing the inner base plate, you just want to make sure that the labels are able to bend over and then down, close the main base plate, and you've loaded the Motex 5500. If you notice that the print on your labels is getting a little bit faded, it's probably time to change the ink roller. Whenever I'm changing an ink roller, I always wear a pair of gloves to avoid ink getting on my fingers. We need an ink roller and we need the Motex 5500 to do this. First, we open up the ink roller carriage by pulling down on the hatch, and it'll present this little tab here. The ink roller is held on this cradle, and that's all we need to change the ink roller. So we'll get a new ink roller out of the packet, take the ink roller out of the package. To remove the old ink roller from the cradle, we pull apart the two arms and it should just drop straight out. Take the new ink roller, and it's got these two little nibs on either end, and you put those two nibs down onto the cradle, open it up, and it should just slot straight in like that. Hold the tab and put this straight back into the gun. It'll just go loosely in there along these rails. Close the hatch. And we've changed the ink roller in the Motex 5500. From time to time, you may notice that the print on your label is too high or too low. This means that you need to do a print head alignment. To do this with a Motex 5500, you take a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's a small screw on either side of the print head. You just give them a loosen, and don't pull the screw all the way out, and that will allow you then to move that print head forwards and backwards on a rail. Now depending on how far forward or backwards it is, will change where the ink prints onto the label. So it might take a bit of testing. Put it in the forward position, tighten both of the screws, dispense some labels, see how that looks, and then work your way back from there. So if it's still not right, loosen them again, and then move the print head backwards a little bit, tighten, and keep trying till you get them aligned. Another handy hint with the Motex 5500 is if you want to print a blank character on the print, you have to set that part of the print head to be a yellow blank. That will allow you to print a blank in the middle or anywhere on the label. What you don't want to do is continue onto the black characters, because they're the characters that are used on the bottom where the ink is. So if you're doing a blank, make sure it's set to one of the yellow characters, and if you need a number or a letter, you use those as the black character on the white.